sir. Sanjulata is a postgraduate student of 4th SEM in MA English from CG College. She has graduated in Maths. Being a student of science stream, her love is bring her to do PG in language. So Sanju, it's your time to start the session.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Good evening, all. It is a great honor for me to be a part of this wonderful evening, and it is also great honor for me to introduce and welcome the chief speaker of today's evening. He is well known for his work in the field of education. He is none other than Mr. Yugal Kishore Tiwari, sir. He was a teacher and teacher educator at DIET Khairagarh, Rajnandgaon. Tiwari sir served for 40 years. He is MA in English Literature and MPhil in Applied Linguistics and having PG Diploma in English Language Teaching. He has wide experience of working with teachers and community members of Rajnandgaon district, Chhattisgarh state and country as well. He has contributed significantly in government publication in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh state in textbook writing, material development in more than 60 books. He also contributed in national educational magazines. He is pioneer in the field on action research in Chhattisgarh. He practiced classroom-based researches. Tiwari sir has attended more than 30 international, national, regional, and district level conferences on seminars, workshops, and presented research papers on English language teaching. Mr. Tiwari has widely traveled almost throughout the country on academic purpose, from CIEFL Hyderabad to NIEPA, IGNOU, CCRT, New Delhi to Jaipur, Lucknow, Chennai, Mumbai, Kolkata, and many more countries in India. Today we are privileged to have an opportunity to listen to him. On behalf of all gathered here, I welcome you, sir. Um, in this literary evening, I would like to invite Mr. Yugal Tiwari, sir, for his keynote address. Over to you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So, good evening to all. I'm happy to be with you in this Saturday intellectual meet. So, the topic is role of motivation. Yes, role of motivation in effective communication. That is very important topic. It is very useful for us. I welcome first of all to Madam Sujata Bahel, who has chaired this session, who is, of course, the person behind this meet. So now I begin my topic. First of all, we can consider why effective communication is needed, why it is essential for us to discuss on and to practice it. I quote you, our personality is very much reflected by our communication skill. Unless we don't communicate verbally, yeah, verbally, people can have only vague idea of our personality. The moment we speak, our personality is reflected. Every word we use is disclosure of our personality. Hence, we must be very particular to use our words carefully. It is reflected. It reflects our study, our knowledge, understanding, attitude, so on and so forth. Effective communication is an added advantage to the personality of the person. It is assurance of success. Why communication skill is important for school and university students to learn? Or we can say, what is the importance of good communication skill with different professionals in social life? It is important to consider. Effective communication is important for leaders in every field. It may be academic or any field or in social life. If one wants to lead, that is the real target of every person. Every person wants to lead in his field. One must develop effective communication skill. Effective communication can be developed is key. Effective communication lasts long. None can easily forget the words, meaning, and message conveyed. People even remember the very words and proudly quote off and on when referred. Motivation is essential for success in any field in life, without which none can excel. This is sure. To excel, only inner motivation works. That is important. Inner motivation, motivation from within. External motivation can't lead to greater success. Encouragement from parents, from boss, or beneficiary, or any other provocation, or money, etc., work only to a limited extent. Nothing can lead to that excellent work which one can achieve with inner motivation. External motivation can't help much for self improvement, self development, or progress. We can achieve anything only if we are motivated, like Eklavya. He's the model. He was highly motivated learner and the first distant learner. He learned everything because of his motivation. Of course, he was not taught by his guru, but he learned everything. That's an amazing example. If you remember Richard Attenborough's film Gandhi, when Abdullah suggests in initial years in Africa, बोलते तो अच्छा हो पर अपने शब्द में वजन तो डालो. This is the dialogue in the film Gandhi. What does he mean? He simply demand effective communication skill from Gandhi, the Mahatma, the ideal of the country. He had poor communication skill in the beginning. If you watch the film again, you notice that. Yeah. What does this statement reflect? That is, effective communication is key to success. If a person don't have effective communication skill, may be successful otherwise, but can't have public recognition, appreciation, etc. For example, business leaders may be very rich, but poor communication skill don't help them establish an independent and effective identity. That is importance of communication skill. Unlike literature, language, and effective communication are skills. Remember, these are not the knowledge. These are the skills one need to cultivate. We can master only after effort. We need to cultivate. We should realize need of effective communication skill. Effective communication skill is not knowledge to be learned through books. This is a skill, it can't be learned through books. Effective communication requires to be cultivated gradually by practice and by sincere effort. If you wish, desires to be an effective communicator, here are the list. We say, what is qualification of communication? Yes. So they are significant command over the language. Only when one have the command over the language, one can be an effective communicator. As is said about Bismarck, the German chancellor who had on politics, he had the command. That's why he is remembered in history, Bismarck the Great. Choosing powerful words, right words, which is contextual, relevant, yet simple, but convey exact sense, exact meaning. That is important in communication. Correct pronunciation is equally important, especially in English language. It is essential. Stress pattern must be followed. Pitch of the voice should be as per audience group. Too feeble or too loud voice is avoided and it distracts the attention of the listener or the audience. Voice modulation must be as per the need, louder or feeble voice make communication ineffective. Intonation, tone quality, and appropriateness is important. Rising tone, falling tone, rise fall, or file, fall rise counts a lot. Sense group is also important in a sentence. While we are speaking or reading, they are read in chunks, in groups. They are not read continuously or in broken pieces. One must follow, one must try to speak continuous speech. Flow must be there. Broken speech or communication is avoided. Yes, and leaves poor impression. Mood should be as per context, convincing, appealing, commanding. Pause is necessary to convey meaning appropriately, effectively. Silence, they, these are essential to take care. When to take silence, how much time we take silence to convey our meaning, breathing space to digest what is conveyed is many a time very useful. If you go on speaking in class, the listener will not cooperate, will not follow the things. That's why silence is also very effective sometimes. Eye contact with the audience help control the audience. This is the significance of eye contact. We have non-verbal communication also. They are facial expression, our gestures, our postures, and body language, our body movement. That is manner of communication to help a lot in effective communication. If you'd like, I can tell you an important example also. Yes, well planned, well prepared communication matters. Effective start should be there. Logical development of idea must be there. Concluding close is a normal expectation of effective communication. Quality expression is important. How quality you are communicating. Yes. How can one be an effective communicator? What should one try to do to improve one's communication skill? That is, they are increase your word power. That is most essential thing. You should learn to use most appropriate word in the context by reading a lot. If you read a lot to enrich word power, at the same time you must have knowledge, wide variety of knowledge, ideas. You should have your views, and lot more is necessary. Reading is always helpful. If you read throughout the life, you will enjoy. Well versed with the content of the communication is essential. Before important communication, we must prepare ourselves. Listen to great orator. That will help us. Observe their style, their technique. They adapt to appeal to the audience and earn wide clap, appreciation, recognition. Frame small sentences. These are the key of the success of great communicator. They never speak long sentences. They are written, but in spoken form, very small sentences are preferred because of the large audience. Yes, practice, practice yourself, rehearse yourself. Dry run is quite useful for communication, effective communication. Monologue or talk in air can help develop confidence. Talking in front of mirror, in front of mirror also help a lot to realize one's weakness. Videos are available on YouTube, Google. One can harness to improve one's communication skill. Yes, some more tips. How can we? To cultivate effective communication skill, awareness is necessary, systematic effort is necessary, and continuous practice is useful. None can be a born communicator. None can be a born communicator. Everyone learns with conscious effort. That is why conscious effort? Because language is social. It is not in one quality. It is not inherent quality. Everybody has to learn language and learns language only in society. That is why, yes, one need to remember only rare could cultivate this effective communication. And those who could cultivate, yes, those who could cultivate, they can earn appreciation naturally. No target level of the audience. That is also essential. Whom you are communicating with, what is their knowledge, what is their quality. We must remember, we must have consideration for the audience as well. We must have rapport with the audience. I narrate an experience. Yeah, that's wonderful experience. We had a very senior professor of English literature some 41 years ago. I narrate old experience some 41 years ago. He could talk continuously for more than 90 minutes because we had 90 minutes period. Once he was delivering his lecture. Although our period of 90 minutes was over, but he continued speaking for more than 15 minutes or so. Remember, I use the word speaking. The, he was not communicating, he was speaking. Speaking is different, communicating is different. The junior class students came in front of the class, for they had their session period in that room, but the professor continued delivering his lecture. And after some time, the junior students left. At Druk Science College, I am narrating this experience. The professor still continued delivering his lecture. And when he realized it is too late, he left the class. He was always unconcerned to the audience, to the learners. I could remember his only sentence in 2 years lecture during my PG. I scored the sentence, what is carbon? If our masala dosa is burnt, it becomes carbon. Where is the literature in this example? I surprise very often after listening for more than 15 minutes. When I could not understand the topic of his lecture, I used to ask my neighboring students, what topic is he discussing? He too was mostly unknown of the topic, but we listened. He was self-engrossed teacher. Do you agree? This is not communication. This is speech only. This is speaking only. Communication is two-way process, bipolar process from the speaker to the listener. If there is a bridge, if there is a connection, then only it is communication. Otherwise, it can be speech. There is need of communication in classroom. There is no need of speech in the classroom. Such are the people in the society. There are so many who never care for their audience. Such can never be an effective communicator. One can be a knowledgeable professor, one can have great knowledge of literature, but can't be an effective communicator. We must have rapport with the audience. We must have care for the audience. There must be justice with the audience, with the listeners. Their level, their understanding must be taken off, must be taken care of. Kind of communication. Yes, communication is of two kind, oral and written. Speaking is more challenging. Why? Because we don't get enough time to think further. We have to continuously speak. That is the tragedy. We need to speak instantly. We can't get time to think further. We should be ready with our ideas. This is the challenge of speaking. Communication is especially important when we are communicating in large group, our classroom, our mass address. That is oral communication. And communication is equally or even more important in one-to-one communication. For example, during interview or talking with VIP or important people, only one inappropriate word can spoil the communication, can be fatal, can be harmful too, can be a major barrier also for further communication, and the communication may stop with the use of only one inappropriate word. In oral communication, we have the audience in front of us, are in contact with us online when we are talking to phone or through now you are as you are we are discussing with you. We can restructure, we can rephrase, we can explain our words, our mean when not clear to listener or when the listener asks explanation for. But remember, but in writing, the reader is not in front of the writer. That's the tragedy. Hence, it is really challenging to be correct. Of course, we have enough time, but none is to point out if there is any ambiguity in our writing. That is also communication. The whole responsibility rests on the writer or the communicator. If you are successful or if you want to be successful, only inner motivation leads to be successful and be an effective communicator. And finally, the 7 C's of communication are, in short, they are said 7 C's. The first one is one must be very clear, one must be complete in ideas, one must be concise, should not be elaborate or should not be very lengthy. One should talk only concise things. One should talk only concrete things, no loose talk. One must be correct in all respect in communication. There must be coherent, logical connection should be there in ideas when we are communicating. One must be courteous also to the listener, to the audience. So these are 7 C's of communication. Remember, people also interpret it in terms of main features of good or effective communication with 4 S. That is shortness, simplicity, strength, and sincerity. I explained the things. Shortness means instead of repeating, avoid saying, for example, you are going to elaborate the things that is not needed. I said previously, these are just the repetition of the same idea. For example, we use words. Is the influence of mother tongue. छोटे छोटे बच्चे खेल रहे हैं. Small children were playing. This is literal translation. Precision is necessary. Use precise word that convey the exact meaning what you want to communicate. Stick to the point. Don't elaborate. There is no need of elaboration when the listener is there in front of you. Second characteristic is simplicity. Complicated ideas doesn't attract the listeners, the audience. Roundabout things must be avoided. Be clear cut. What do you want to convey? Yes, the strength, the 3 S. Learn to identify and highlight your strength. What's your strength? Do you have any idea? Identify. Can someone state your strength? Do you feel what is your strength? If you have, you can. Communication is coming to common same ground, same platform. This is communication. Verbal aspect of communication and linguistic aspect of communication. The better receiver you are, the better communicator you could be. One must be receiver also. One must be listener also. If want to be speaker, one must be good listener also. Yes. And the 4th S is sincerity. How sincere you are to your job, to your task, to your life, to your communication. Sincerity should be reflected through your words. Here I finish. If you have any doubt, thank you for listening such a long talk. If you have any doubt, any query, any suggestion, you are welcome. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It was a wonderful session we had. If anyone have any query, they can ask to sir.
Sir, I want to ask a question for students. How to motivate them for writing?
Yeah, I told you this like linguistic competence, whether it is speaking or writing, this can't be cultivated by external efforts. If by someone's motivation, none can be a good writer.
Yes,
You
sir.
can excel in writing or in speaking only when there is inner motivation. That is the important thing. That's why I elaborated the thing. Inner motivation is essential to lead for communication, whether in writing, in writer, as a writer, or as a speaker. I remember Ernest Hemingway. If you know all, you must know Ernest Hemingway's The Old Man and the Sea. He has earned a Nobel Prize in 1952 for that small novel, very thin novel, very small novel it is. And why was the Nobel Prize awarded to him? It is awarded simply because of the simplicity of style. And if you know the fact that he revised the last chapter of that very small novel more than 70 times.
70.
70 times. You
Wow.
know, those were the days when there was no computer. 70 times he has changed the words, the sentence, the meaning of that novel. And you remember the keyword of that novel, that is man can die. Man can die, but can't be defeated. This is the keyword. This is the moral. This is the yes message of that novel. How can you make one writer, good writer, unless he has himself the inner motivation? You know that Surdas was blind. Milton too was blind when he was composing the Paradise Lost in his later age, and he has composed with the help of his doctors. They have written that, but the ideas are met. So no, none can. Of course, we can motivate someone, but unless that person is not interested, unless he has not inner motivation, we can't make someone good speaker or good writer. So that's what I try to highlight in this lecture, that one must be ready to learn from within.
Exactly, sir. But as a teacher, we have to motivate our students.
Yeah. But we also have to remember every person has his own identity, his own quality. Someone may be a speaker, someone may be good writer, someone will be a good player, someone can be. Everybody has his own talent, potential. You can go on trying, but he will be what he wants to be. What is his interest? So we should try to, if we try to, if we try to identify that potential, that talent, we should try to cultivate that one. It is not only from the teacher's aspect, but from, of course, we are responsible to try our best. But if he is not ready, it's a common says that घोड़े को आप पानी तक तो ले जा सकते हैं, लेकिन वो चाहेगा तभी पिएगा. So this way, students, we can motivate the students, but his inner motivation, what is his inner motivation, that also counts, and we can just encourage them. This is up to them whether they want to be a good speaker, whether they want to be a good writer, of course, but one must try. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, I also have a query. Like I like reading, so can reading can help us to motivate for effective communication? I mean, more reading.
Yeah. Certainly, one can be an effective communicator only who has read a lot. Unless one don't read the things, the world classics, you don't know the world history, where will you get the knowledge to quote? To quote great persons. I learned. I was a student of science. How did I know about Bismarck? How did I know about Napoleon? Are the great persons who have contributed in some way in the world history. So only wide range of study, only harnessing the library, only developing the habit of reading. Today only I wrote. I'm writing, busy in these days in composing a book in Hindi. Of course it is. So I said I have written a sentence. पढ़ना भी तो नशा है. पढ़ना भी तो नशा है. और मैंने उसमें उदाहरण भी लिखा है कि मैं रायपुर रेलवे स्टेशन पे एक शाम को बैठा था, करीब 8 बजे फर्स्ट क्लास वेटिंग हॉल में बैठा था. 8:30 बजे मेरी लोकल थी, रायपुर से दुर्ग में आता था. मैं पढ़ने लगा फर्स्ट क्लास वेटिंग हॉल में. मुझे पता चला 10 बजे, अरे बाप रे, ट्रेन तो 8:30 बजे थी, मेरी घड़ी में 10 बज गया था, मुझे आधा घंटा और रुकना पड़ा क्योंकि वो ट्रेन 10:30 बजे थी, फिर रात को मैं 12 बजे पहुंच पाया। तो जब इफ यू कल्टिवेट दिस एडिक्शन एडिक्शन ऑफ रीडिंग, then only you can be a good communicator, then you could be a knowledgeable person, then you could have the ideas, novel ideas. Where did the novel ideas come? Novel ideas comes only through enrichment, by reading, by consulting people. Reading makes the full man. Remember back, the full man. Those who don't read are only half man. वो एक उदाहरण है शेक्सपियर का, उसमें क्या नाम से टेम्पेस्ट में वो एक कैलिबान करके करेक्टर था, who was only half man, आधा आदमी था और आधा मछली था, वो जो उसकी मदर थी कैलिबान का. So if you want to be complete man, reading makes a full man. Conference are ready man, and writing an exact man. This is the importance of writing. If you learn writing, only then you can be exact. So reading is very much essential. How much variety of the things you read from. I remember an incident while I was in Delhi. I was doing my diploma in educational planning and administration. We had only 30 minutes time for library from 9 to 9:30. Some two principals of Arunachal Pradesh were sitting there in the library, and I found out some of the books from the rack, and about 10 books I brought it on the table, and I was just consulting those books. Then one of the principal asked me, Mr. Tiwari, can you read all these books in half an hour time? I said, who is going to read? I'm just going to choose the books. What topic I want to read, whether they are available in any of these books or not. I will only select the book and get the book issued, and then I will read it in my room in the hostel. So reading is a addiction, I said. It is addiction. You can cultivate, you can be a good writer, good communicator, only if you are enriched by reading. Yes, I remember my days, those for 5 years I have worked at Raipur also. I was member of Gough Memorial Center. There was a library. I was member of Vivekananda Library, and I have got rare books there. I have read rare books there. So reading enrich us. Reading makes us a full man. It is essential.
Thank you so much, sir.
Sir, we know that, Sanjita, just a minute. No? We know that reading enriched our, sir. But after knowing this, and I am sharing my personal view. I want to read books, but whenever I see the book, I didn't find means it not create interest. So what should I do?
Yeah, that's a very valid question.
Internally, I want it, but
yeah, you are right. We have to develop. This is inner motivation. What I mentioned, one must have inner motivation if you want to learn. Okay, I quote another example. When I was doing my diploma in educational planning and administration, we were taken for a week to study of an educational management system of any state. We are taken to Andhra Pradesh to study the educational management system of that state, and we were taken to a Navodaya Vidyalaya at Andhra Pradesh. If you remember, Navodaya Vidyalaya scheme was firstly launched at Andhra Pradesh, and then later Government of India adopted it and proliferated in the whole country. One Navodaya in every district. So that was basically the Andhra Pradesh model, and we are taken through that model higher secondary, that Navodaya Vidyalaya in Andhra Pradesh. And the moment we entered in the principal chamber, our course director was with us, and we were some 30 participants from whole of the country. And the moment we entered the principal chamber, our course director said, Sushma Jairath, Dr. Sushma Jairath was our course director. She accompanied us, and she said, we were here in that principal chamber simply because the principal here reads such a book. And it was surprising that Jeet Aapki, you can win. Q Kheda book was there on the principal table. This is the importance, how essential it is to read the things. If you want to succeed in life, you should be a lifelong reader. one must be lifelong reader. You spare time, you choose the best time to read. Sometimes even when I was in job, I used to study overnight is there. After the day, person. You have to job responsibility, you have family responsibility, you have social responsibility. So many responsibilities are there. But I used to say the whole night is there with you to study, to read books, and you can harness that time. There is no disturbance, there's calmness, there is perfectly quiet, and you can enjoy reading in such a wonderful hour. So one have to see the time. Everybody has got 24 hours. 24 hour, you have to steal time for your hobbies, time for your reading, time for your writing. It is up to you. What preference do you give to? What is your first choice? Yeah, thank you. You if you want, you can spare time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hello. I wanted to add something in to Sir's comment. Sujata, I think in order to develop this thing, your interest in reading, you should select the topic which interests you first. There are so many kinds of books that are available, magazines or novels or whatever. So, what topic you like, you select that. And if you are going for literary works, if the reviews or the critical opinion on that work also would let you know whether that is the thing you want. Because I remember when we were in post graduation, I selected Raja Rao as topic of my dissertation, and it was too much for me. It was suggested by my professor. The novels were short but were highly philosophical, and at that time I felt so dizzy when I used to read that. But gradually I developed, I started reading philosophical works and other, and then I did my PhD also on Raja Rao. And now everyone, wherever I find something about him that interests me. So in the beginning, you have to find something which interests you. And you can select the genre, or you can start with magazines and all, and then you would come to know. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah. I want to add one more thing. Attitude counts a lot in reading. I narrate one experience. One of my college friend has given me one novel. You read it. I just tried to read it, and there was the opening line of that novel was गाड़ी चल रही है, चक्के घूम रहे हैं. I got bored. अरे भाई ये क्या मतलब है? गाड़ी चलेगी तो चक्के तो घूमेंगी. ये तो बहुत बोरिंग है. और उसने कहा नहीं नहीं सर आप पढ़ के तो देखो बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है. जैसे आपने गांधी फिल्म देखी है ना, उसमें जो लास्ट सीन है फिल्म गांधी का उसको सबसे पहले दिखाता है. यानी गांधी की शव यात्रा निकल रही पूरी भव्यता के साथ, और फिर वो आखिरी में वही दृश्य फिर से दिखाया जाता है. तो दिस इज द राइटर्स टेक्निक टू हाईलाइट हिज आइडियाज. So if we have the positive attitude to read, we can enjoy any piece of writing. If we are distracted, if we have negative attitude to reading, we can't enjoy even wonderful piece of writing. So attitude counts a lot in reading. Develop
Exactly.
interest for reading, and you will love reading. Certainly.
Exactly, sir. Exactly.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. If anyone want to ask questions, they can ask. I guess there are no further questions. So as the time is passing, I would like to introduce our today's chairperson, Mrs. Priyanka Sharma ma'am. Mrs. Priyanka Sharma ma'am has graduated in the arts stream from Rajasthan University in the year 2016. After coming to Raipur, Chhattisgarh, she resumed her studies and got postgraduate degree from Maths University, Raipur. Then she got selected for the MPhil program and completed MPhil in the year 2016. Meanwhile, she started working as a guest lecturer in Maths University and taught there for 2 years. Mrs. Sharma also worked as a trainer for English communication course under the National University Students Skill Development NUSSD program in the year 2018 and 2019. Currently, she is pursuing her PhD degree under the guidance of Dr. Kirti Tiwari ma'am. The topic for her research is Canopy of Nature over the novel of Amitav Ghosh, an eco-critical study. She has also participated in various national and international conferences, workshops, and seminars related to literature and published a few papers in various peer reviewed and reputed journals. She joined SPALE in December 2020 and since then attended various webinars and FDPs, also played the role of moderator in few of this session. I'd like to welcome Mrs. Priyanka Sama ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Sanju. A very good evening to all my teachers, my fellow students, and all the eminent personalities who have joined, who have participated in this webinar organized by iSpell CG Forum. First of all, I would like to extend my gratitude to iSpell CG Forum, who has given me this opportunity to chair this session on the role of motivation in effective communication. Motivation for an effective communication is a very relevant topic today, and iSpill CG Forum has devoted a great amount of sessions on this topic. Motivation is one thing that is very important in every person's life, in every aspect of his life, and in every phase of his life. As without motive nothing can really be done, and motivation, with a little bit of motivation a lot can be achieved. Today I, along with the other participants, had the opportunity to get the knowledge of all the aspects of motivation and communication skills through the lecture of Dr. YK Tiwari, a renowned personality in the field of academics. Mr. YK Tiwari has listed the importance of communication skills and motivation behind it. He explained in detail that why communication skill is very important in social life. It makes leaders. He shed light on that, and he also told that inner motivation is more important than the external motivation, and he also gave reasons for that with the help of many examples from history, from movies, and his personal experiences. He told why communication skill is important and how it can be improved. And he also shed light on that communication skill cannot be learned through books. It need to be cultivated with sincere efforts, but at the same time books are very important to improve these skills. And he also gave tips. He gave deep tips also in detail to how to improve your verbal as well as your non-verbal communication. He gave tips like we should choose powerful words, correct pronunciation, pitch of the voice, according to the audience we need to speak, voice modulation, intonation appropriateness, and rise and fall of the tone. All these things that people, the beginners, I would say, that they do not pay attention much attention to, but he shed light on why these things are very important in an effective communication. And he also told that the mood of our speech should be also according to the context. Pause is important, silence, where to take the silence, where we need to be silent, and how, for how long we need to be silent. He also explained that in detail. And eye contact and breathing space, these things are also we need to keep in mind. Also about non-verbal communication, he told that gesture, body language, and your posture, these things talk more than the verbal words that we use. And he also gave tips on that to give an effective communication, it should be well planned and well practiced, and with sincerity it should be given. And he also gave the very important personal experience to explain the difference between speech and communication. And with the example given by him, kids means the learner can be motivated on which way not to go. Means speech is a different thing, communication is a different thing, and the difference was clearly differentiated, explained by Dr. Y.K. Tiwari sir. And you also shed light on that communication is not only important for to impress anyone. It is important to impress, but it is not the sole reason for an effective communication. Communication should be impressive because it's an etiquette. It's our etiquette towards the audience. We need to be justice towards the audience because they have given their time to us. So we need to give them what they deserve. And also he gave this example of 7 C's and 7S: shortness, simplicity, strength, sincerity, all these things. And also it's thank you very much sir, it was a privilege to listen to you today. Also if students, if learners in this webinar have noticed, your lecture was also a very good example of a perfect example of all the qualities of good communication, because it had all the 7 C's and all the 4S that you have explained, and pitch, tone, everything, the interaction, everything was on the spot. So it was a very good privilege of mine to listen to you sir, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Priyanka ma'am. And for further proceeding of the program, I'd like to welcome Sujata ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Sanju, for moderating the session very beautifully. And I would like to say thanks, first of all, thanks to Dr. G.A. Ghanshyam sir, founder of our iSpell, who motivated us to join the virtual program. Always he motivated us. Thank you so much, Kirti Tiwari ma'am, for being with us, Garcha ma'am, Dr. Archana Singh ma'am, and our chairperson, Priyanka Sharma ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing the whole session in a brief. Those who joined us later, they came to know what was in the session. So thank you so much, ma'am. Ghanshyam sir is with us. Sir, we would like to listen you too. Sir, you are muted.
Already it has been done by Tiwari sir, and he has spoken on motivation. And the motive of aviation is always there as far as motivation is concerned, because motivation itself says the motive is of aviation. So let we lead all the people towards aviation so that they can fly high in the air with not only the external kind of a motivation, but also with internal motivation. And as I could listen to the discussion which was going on books, so it's always better to read Francis Bacon of Studies, wherein he says some books are to be tasted, others to be swallowed, and some few to be chewed and digested. So we must search for those books which are to be chewed and digested, so that the books, whichever book we chew and digest, that will be there to motivate us. And there are so many books which are to be chewed and digested. So let all of us digest wonderful books, because books are the best companions and they lead us towards our destination. And that's what motivation is. And if a person is not there to motivate, then books are there to motivate us. And books are the real motivators. And they always, all the time, they motivate. Even the writer may not be there, but the books will ever be there for us to motivate. As Bacon is motivating us till today, Frost is motivating us till today, Tagore is motivating us till today, Gandhi is motivating, Vivekananda, all of them, they are motivating us. So that's what the motive is of aviation. So for all of us, these are the people, those who can motivate, and the books are the real treasure, real gem to motivate us. So thank you very much, Tiwari sir, for doing the honors on the platform of iSpell and bringing all these motivational things together on the platform. And thank you very much to each and everyone. And Sujata, thank you. And Sanju also, thank you very much. Priya, hope to see you in some more programs also. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I would like if you give certificate of appreciation.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
Has it been displayed?
Not yet, sir.
Okay, right.
Meanwhile, I would like to say that those who are present here should motivate their colleagues and classmates and others to attend such good programs that are being held by iSpell Forum I have 2 or 3 students of MA here. Others have not joined, and then we have some professors also. So that is my humble request, please.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's your motivation that we got moderator over here. There's some new moderator, Sanju.
Yes, and they will increase. The number will increase in future, I promise.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Indrani, ma'am, are you there? Thank you so much, ma'am. I would like to thank to you too for making this session live and for technical support. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, I want to give you thanks for making this session live and providing technical support too. Thank you so much, Indrani, ma'am. Garcha ma'am is with us. Ma'am, could you please show the certificate?
Sujata, please invite Kirti Tiwari, madam.
Yes, ma'am. Dr. Kirti Tiwari, ma'am.
Anjan sir is doing the honors. If not, then please invite Kirti Tiwari, madam. Sujata.
Yes, ma'am. Dr. Kirti Tiwari, ma'am, would you please share the word of appreciation? Meanwhile, I read a message you all have got in the chat box session. Some of the students of college are attending the program. They are registered for iSpell 2. And Shelly has written she is continuously motivating them to join the forum. Thank you so much, Shelly. It's okay. We will share the certificate in personal message, sir. Thank you so much for being with us and sharing your precious words, precious experience with us. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you all.
I would like to hear another more session from you.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, I'll enjoy interacting with you all. Thank you. That's my pleasure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Priya Sharma, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for being with us. I will share the certificate in your personal account. No?
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
Sujata.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Sujata.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, everyone, for being with us. And we will try to meet very soon next month from iSpace.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sanju, for being with us.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I have a lot of
Thank you.